Thank you very much, Emma, for that speech. We now take emergency resolution, an emergency motion on Redcar steel. And could I call to move the motion Anna Turley, MP, who won a brilliant victory earlier this year.
Anna Turley, Member of Parliament for Redcar. Conference, you will have seen today's devastating news. SSI have announced 1,700 job losses at the blast furnace in Redcar. It is completely heartbreaking for all of those involved. And there are another 6,000 more jobs hit in the area. Those who work on the ports, carry the coal, supply the gas, wash the overalls, move the skips and feed the workforce. This is devastating. This week, we've heard a defiant, gut-wrenching roar from Teesside. Over 170 years of toil and endeavour in forging steel in the heat and the light has come down to a few days of desperate fighting. Fighting to get the pay that is owed to those who have toiled, fighting to keep the coke ovens and the blast furnace breathing with the fuel they need to stay alive, fighting to save the plant and the very future of steelmaking on Teesside and in Britain, fighting to keep the pride, the passion and the dignity of generations of men and women of steel. Redcar is a community whose steel has built the modern world, from Sydney Harbour Bridge to Canary Wharf to the new Wembley Stadium. And it now feels at the mercy of that world, powerless to survive in a global market thanks to a Tory government that is turning its back on the industry. Conference, there is a future for steel in this country. It underpins British industry from aerospace to automotive to construction. But we have a government which just doesn't believe in a future for steel. And this isn't just about Teesside. This crisis affects British steelmaking in Corby and Scunthorpe, Port Talbot, Clyde Bridge. It's about having a government which values industry and manufacturing and sees them as vital components to a balanced and healthy economy. David Cameron has a clear opportunity here today to show he believes in the future of British industry. If he wants to see a march of the makers and a northern powerhouse, there would be no greater opportunity to demonstrate that than by direct action on Teesside, stepping in to secure the steelworks today. It can be done. Government is claiming state aid prevents them from acting, but many other countries in Europe do intervene because they believe it is important to their national economy. France, Germany, Italy have all intervened to support their steel industries. It is a disgrace that our community and the industrial marvel that is the Redcar blast furnace can be allowed to simply be run into the sand by a laissez-faire government that refuses to intervene. Whatever happens, no one can have fought harder and with more dignity than the people of Teesside. It is just a tragedy that a community which built the world and which has been the beating heart of this nation's industrial powerhouse finds its own Tory government has such little gratitude. Conference, I'm going back to my constituency shortly with Brian Dennis, a union delegate and a steelworker who's going to speak to you shortly. But I would now like to formally move the emergency motion on Redcar Steelworks. And Conference, I ask you to support this motion and please to put your hands together in a show of solidarity with the men and women of Teesside.
Thank you very much, Anna, for a brilliant speech, and congratulations on your promotion to the front bench. We will miss you off the Home Affairs Select Committee.